On people, Sunday today. The winter's coming. Kind of chilly. Not kinda, it's really chilly. At least it feels that way. So I decided to do a video what I've been up to for past couple days. Not much trucking going on. I am done with my seed corn project, and that's what we do nowadays. This and that. And I figure I will explain how the whole operation works. And I spoke to one guy a couple days ago. He's like, crushing rock, it's an awesome deal. People bring you a free product, stuff like this: dirt, concrete, bricks, whatever has a concrete in it, and they just dump it. So this is some sort of, you can call it junkyard. There's rebar, there's iron, whatever you want to name it. So we take any kind of concrete product, driveways, sidewalks, foundations, bricks, whatever has cement in it. This is excavator, sits on the top. Right up here where it says Roxxon, this is a shaker table. There's a counterweights, and that thing shakes really, really fast, and it goes inside of a hopper. Let me climb up here real quick. Show you guys how it works. Shaker table goes in, the rocks fall down up here, gets fitted with excavator. When it shakes, it screens, the rock stays on top, the dirt falls in, and it goes in that belt and goes underneath it and shoots out on the other side. Then a rock without the dirt, which it don't work that way, falls in here. And this is crushing the rock down to smaller size we can do it. This is a stationary jaw. This is the jaw actually gets moved, which is right here. It has two ways. It can feed it and it can reverse it. Basically pushes the rock up. We did replace the jaws already one point at a time. We'll climb down. Ooh. When the rock falls down, there's a conveyor belt, and it runs clear up on a hill, and it goes in a screener. This is a Fintech 1107. I believe, don't quote me on that, I think it's a Finland, the one who makes the machine. It's not new, it's 2007. It works fairly well. And I want to come back to the person who told me. He says, must be awesome business. You get free product, free raw material, and then you turn into the money. Don't work that way. This thing is a maintenance nightmare. The number one key to be successful crushing rock, you gotta own lots of Loctite, because when this thing runs by itself, the machine is so heavy and it vibrates so much, it's actually sinking by itself. Yesterday I crushed for 8 hours. I made 596 ton of crushed rock. That's how many tons it went through the machine. I ended up moving the machine twice, getting cleaned out underneath it, because stuff like this builds up. And then on the other side, underneath it there, like right here, it stops this main conveyor belt, and then the crusher continue working, and it piles the whole thing up. And then you got to take this cover off and clean the belt out, move the machine out, get the belt going again, and get a discharge cleaned out. It has a Deutz engine if somebody's interested. It's a V6 single turbo Deutz engine. When you have a rock coming in this conveyor belt, this is a magnet. This is a full-time magnet, and it kicks all the rebar off. It's picking, I would say, 90% of the iron from a concrete. The more fine you crushing it, the cleaner the rock comes out. So this is a Chief, I believe it's a power screen machine. And what this thing does, you get a stuff coming out of crusher folds in on this belt. It turns really slow, feeds the main belt, and then it folds down right over there off of this belt. This belt folds down, and it screens in 3 different products. There's screen number 1, screen number 2, and then it goes to the fine. So it doesn't go, I'm sorry, not 3 screens, 2 screens, big, smaller, and it then becomes the fines. This is a bigger rock, goes up this conveyor belt, and this is smaller rock, which is this size, goes over here. The screener so far, it wasn't too bad of a machine. They have a tremendous amount of hydraulics, absolutely insane amount of hydraulics. There's so many lines running in this thing. This machine is also get powered by Deutz, which is liquid cooled, not air cooled, 4-cylinder turbo diesel engine. Has dual pumps, pump number 1, pump number 2, main pump, secondary pump. There's all your controls and stuff like that. This machine, I'm not sure what year it is, but it works fairly well. Like I said, besides the belt and hydraulic hoses. Speaking of that, I got a really bad leak over here someplace. There's a pile of oil, and I gotta figure out which hose it is. And there's a lot of them. Friday we did replace this belt. This is already 2nd belt. This is the fine. So this is the smallest you can make the rock. This stuff gets sold fairly fast, and if somebody curious what it costs, it's $16 a ton at the yard. If you want to truck it, obviously it's extra. Right in this pile is about 325 ton, which is fairly big pile compared to the machine. This machine supposed to be self-propelled, but at this point in time the planetary gears are out, so I end up dragging it with a 963, which is a heavy wheel loader. The goal is, when we making rock, the machine does 3 products, but we're trying to do 2 products, because anything big like this, we run it through the crusher again. But this is the fine product. That's what we like to see. Stuff like this stuff is $14 a ton, and that's what we load. This stuff goes in this off-road truck, sits underneath that conveyor belt, and then we just dump it the way we're carrying rock away from a machine. Besides this fines, then I gotta grab a payloader, wheel loader, whatever you want to call it, and I gotta transfer someplace over there so it sits off the side. Whew. So from my own experience, if somebody thinks like that guy told me, he says, this is awesome. Yes, it is to a certain extent, but you got to be willing to work. This is absolute maintenance nightmare, and I will stick to it. It's maintenance nightmare. There was not a single day when something didn't go wrong, break down. You have to grease this machines daily. I mean daily, sometimes even 2 times a day. You gotta watch. You gotta have a guy full-time sitting and watching the machine when it's running, because like I said, this belt can start quit working. You gotta constantly watching, make sure to see like the gap right here, how big it is, and the gap right here is so tight. You gotta stop the machine, because this belt will slip over and start burning on the brackets and on the main frame. So the guy's gotta know why this belt moved over. Usually it's because the dirt built up underneath there, and that's what makes the belt run to one side. Right now, the next time we're gonna crush, I have to move the machine out, clean underneath it, park it back on, and you're trying to get the soil underneath the machine hard as possible, because like I said, the machine, when it's running, it sinks by itself because it weighs 100,000 pounds, 98 or 99,000 pounds, so right at 50 ton. So that's my story. That's what we've been doing. Now, since we crushed all that rock, Now it needs to be sold, and we need to pay. We gotta pay for the belt because the belt ends up being $2,000 belt. No, not 2,000, 2,800 bucks, because we ordered the belt and the belt was too long. We end up taking to the special shop who works on the belts. They end up cutting and charges another $800. On the FinTech part of it, the crusher, since it was made in Finland, it's a very limited ability on the parts, so a lot of the things you start creating yourself. God forbid the hydraulic motor, the main hydraulic motor went out. We're talking about probably $10,000 hydraulic motor, and it would be impossible to find it. So this rock business, it's not all that free. So if anybody ever curious how the concrete gets recycled, that's how it works. And you have quite a few pieces of equipment getting involved when you run this thing. So there's the belt. The first belt we bought it and ended up being too short, and then we bought another one and ended up being too long. So that's the piles of rock. That's the fine product you get off after the screener and everything else. So, and I think Monday I have few people wanted some of the rock, and we're gonna take it and sell it. What I was talking about, the fines, that's how big the pile of fines. So I'm not very good with judgment. Didn't somebody tell me you think it's equal to this Volvo truck, off-road truck? You think it's a 300 ton of rock up there? I think it is. I think it's over 300 ton of rock. So we did quite a bit of work in the past 2 days. Like I said, it's one day I crushed 596 ton, and the day before the scale for some reason quit at 35 ton. So I bet it's like 670, I would say 670, maybe almost 700 ton of rock in an asphalt. Oh, another thing, the asphalt, the black stuff, you cannot crush when it's hot outside, because asphalt has tendency gummed up and it would not go through the crusher, and then you have a problem. So anyways, I gotta go work on the camper now, winterizing, because weather's coming, cold weather's coming fairly soon. Thanks for watching all. Comment below if you're interested in something or didn't I explain. Thanks for watching all.